Hi everyone, it's Ms Monique. I'm going to read you a story today called The No Good Rotten Run-On Sentence. And it's a story that should help us with our writing. It's about a boy called Kevin, and Kevin is writing a sentence that gets so dreadful and long that it runs and expands outside of his house and nobody can stop the sentence by putting a full stop on it. So hopefully we will be able to remember when to put our full stops in our sentences. Have you ever written a sentence that went on and on and on, like a no good, rotten, run-on sentence? The No Good, Rotten, Run-On Sentence by Lisa Charlesworth. One day, Kevin Crabtree had a great idea for a story. But when he sat down to write it, the very first sentence refused to behave. It ran and ran and ran. In fact, it ran right off the page and out of his bedroom. But Kevin had to get his thoughts down, so he just kept writing. A minute later, he heard a crash. Then his sister Darcy burst in. "What's the deal with that sentence?" she asked. "It ran through the kitchen and knocked over my cereal. Then it ran out the open window." Kevin put down his pencil. "I don't know what's wrong. My story idea is fantastic, but the first sentence just keeps going and going and going and going." "I think I get the idea. Don't worry, I'll catch it," replied Darcy, who was the fastest runner in all of Blathertown. Darcy put on her running shoes and darted out the door. She passed a skateboarder and a biker and a bus. She huffed and puffed, but she just couldn't catch that no good, rotten, run-on sentence. Along came Mrs. Smoodle and her dog, Lightning. "What's all the commotion?" she asked. "Kevin is writing a story and his first sentence will not stop," yelped Darcy. "I tried to catch it, but it just keeps running." "Oh my, that's so rude," declared Mrs. Smoodle. "This sounds like a job for Lightning. After all, he's the fastest dog in all of Blathertown. He'll get that no good, rotten, run-on sentence. Or his name's not Lightning, Sweetie Pie, Schmoopy, Schmoodle 3. Then she pointed her finger at the sentence and commanded, "Fetch, boy." As expected, Lightning took off like a flash. He passed a jogger and a roller skater and a pizza delivery truck, but it was no use. He just couldn't catch that no good, rotten, run-on sentence. Along came Cowboy Cow on his horse. "Howdy, partners. Why the long faces?" "Kevin is writing a story and his first sentence keeps running and not even Lightning can catch it," explained Mrs. Schmoodle. "Why, I'll get that ornery, disrespectful gaggle of words if it's the last thing I do," said Cowboy Cow. He twirled his lasso this way and that and took expert aim. But to his surprise, that no good, rotten, run-on sentence slipped right through the rope and kept on going. "Look, it's heading for the center of town," gulped Darcy. With no time to spare, the four of them hopped on Cowboy Cow's horse and galloped towards Town Square. By the time they arrived, everyone had scattered to the safety of their homes. Everyone but dear Miss Bartlebine. "Watch out!" they screamed. "It's Kevin's no good, rotten, run-on sentence." "Oh, that silly thing," she replied calmly. "I'll take care of it." Then she reached inside her purse and pulled out a red pencil. "A pencil?" they exclaimed. "That's no match for the no good, rotten, run-on sentence." Next, Miss Bartlebine did an amazing thing. She pointed the pencil at the sentence and started editing. She broke it apart into smaller sentences. She added capital letters and commas and periods and question marks and even an exclamation point or two. Then before you knew it, that no good, rotten, run-on sentence was no more. And in its place were dozens of tidy, clear, perfectly polite sentences along with the start of a darn good story. "How did you do that?" Darcy exclaimed. "Well, when a sentence keeps going and going, it becomes what is known as a run-on sentence. Run-on sentences are good sentences gone bad. Ideas get confused. Readers get lost. It's not a pretty sight," sighed Miss Bartleby. She then returned the pencil to her purse, declaring, "My work here is done. Now let's go over and visit Kevin. I'd like to give him a little grammar lesson." And that's exactly what she did. After that, Kevin never had a problem with a run-on sentence again, and his excellent story was published to rave reviews with a great big dedication to dear Miss Bartleby. The end.